Welcome.
Thank you.
So, what do you want to bring into our session today?
I'd like to talk about, I guess, my barrier in terms of making myself visible on Facebook, on social media, on Instagram, just putting myself out there in terms of the public eye.
Yeah, what a great question. So thank you for bringing that in. So what have you noticed so far with regards to this in your life right now?
Well, I've noticed that sometimes I can feel very isolated because I'm not on these platforms. I've noticed that the discomfort I have, especially around the boundaries in terms of my previous profession as a psychotherapist, and just not feeling that it would be ethical. And where the ethics lies, there's a lot of rules and regulations around it. The personal, I know where some of it comes from my family. My father was a physicist and a very highly successful one. He had patents, probably 30, 40 patents. He spoke at international conferences. He had papers. He was a writer. He was a researcher. That was what he did. And he won all these awards, and they were all put in a box. And they were put in the garage. He never flaunted. He never shared. I never knew until he was close to passing that all of these were there. He was just a humble man. And that's how I was raised. We don't flaunt, we don't talk about ourselves, we don't, and I feel like social media is like, look at me. And that just makes me cringe. It makes me very uncomfortable. And it's just not the kind of person I am or choose to be.
Yes.
So that's a real barrier for me.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this. Would you actually like it to be different? Because what I'm hearing from you...
Well, so I hired a business coach 2 years ago. And she says, Suzanne, you must be on social media. If you want this kind of, this is critical. So yes, I've been leaning in that direction and moving more into that direction.
So what have you been doing when you say you've been moving into that
So
direction?
I've been writing. I've got an Instagram, I haven't posted it. My coach put me, I created a new website which was created for my coaching business when I launch it. It's moving into that direction very gradually. I haven't done anything on Facebook really, except I have done a little bit of advertising for some group work and that I have done as I'm moving into this coaching area and facilitation and training area.
So what I'm hearing in our conversation so far, is a feeling that somebody else has told you that you must be on these platforms. But it's coming from external to you. Yeah,
and I also think that, there's, my kids are on, my husband's even on, he's recently, he's been on for a few years, but the fact that I'm not on, I'm not in, it's...
So I'm hearing a lot of contradictions.
Yes, I do. I have this conflicting...
Yes.
And
Yeah. You started out in our conversation by saying you feel, and this wasn't your word, but it was something like it, like feeling a bit excluded, like feeling a bit alone because you're not on these platforms, And then you talked about your father and some of these deep patterns that you have grown up, some of these rules and conditions that you've grown up hearing around
and
not
experiencing.
Not making yourself too big, not being too showy. So you have, and then you have this business coach who has said you must be on this platform in order to what? In order to grow your business?
In order to grow a business, have a business. She just basically, this is the way. This is the way, this is the current field of business. You gotta be on social media.
You gotta be on social media. Yeah. Tell me what happens if you imagine you've written some social posts, have you?
And I'm starting to move in that direction.
Oh, okay, interesting. What does starting to move in that direction look like?
So I've written some Instagram story My coach 2 years ago would put a few things on Instagram, but I haven't put anything on since. That was 2 years ago. So, you know, I'm moving in that direction, but I haven't quite got the comfort.
Yeah. I want you just to play a little bit with me here in this session.
Okay.
I'd like you to imagine that straight after our session, I give you a challenge to go home or go back to your room, get one of those posts up that you have already written and put it out on Instagram today. What's happening for you right now?
Discomfort.
Where do you feel that discomfort?
All throughout my body. It's just like a tightness.
Yes. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it in your jaw, in your shoulders. Okay. And if you were to tap into that tightness and that discomfort right here, you're really just tap into that place where you're feeling that, and this is my word, that contraction. What do you notice? What story's there when you think about particularly going back to your room right now and just putting that Instagram story straight up?
It's in my heart, I guess. I just feel like I'm kind of doing a disservice in a way to my family, to my upbringing, and you know, we were very simple people. My lineage comes from, you know, the Mennonite. Even the Mennonites, I don't know if anybody knows, they're very, very simple people, and they live very simply. And I went 7 generations back, and this is how, you know, this is still carried in my system, that we're just grateful for the simple, and we don't need much. We don't need to do that. It feels like I'm doing something against my grain. It's like if you're you know, you're wood and you're shining the wood, and then you go you go against the grain. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So I'm going to play devil's advocate with you now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, what happens if you don't do any of it?
I won't have a business. I won't have much of a business.
Is that true? And does that feel like that cost is worth it or not? How much do you want? I want to ask you a different question.
Yeah.
I want you to dream with me right here in this session. And I want you to tell me how big, ideally, you would like to grow your business. Paint that vision. I want you to imagine that we are 1 year in the future, and I have picked up the phone to you, and I'm like, Suzanne, how you doing? And you're like, oh my God!
Yeah, that's the paradox, of course.
Yes.
Because the paradox is that I want, you know, to make a difference. I want to contribute. I want to take all this knowledge and years and 30 years of practice and things that I know and I've built. I want to push forward and help, and as well as train and give back. So so it's paradoxical. There's a part of me that doesn't want or feel that comfortable with doing that, and then there's the other part that there's two conflicting parts.
I just want you to breathe into that vision just for a moment. Yeah, beautiful. Like really ground those feet on the floor. Tapping into that part. We're made of multiple parts, but the part in you that really wants to contribute, and I'm going to add a word in here now. You can say if it resonates or if it doesn't, but that really wants to have a legacy. Because what I've heard through this session so far is that you have such a lot to give. You have been learning, you have been developing, you have been helping, you have been serving, you have been contributing. What happens if nobody ever hears about your work?
I feel like I don't feel fulfilled. It's about the fulfillment. I feel like I will have died without my music being played.
Yeah. I just want you to pause here. How powerful is what you've just said? I will have died without my music being played. Yeah. do you know anybody in your life that is on Instagram and is able to share their gifts, share their message, and do that?
Instagram.
Oh, you're not on it. You're absolutely not on it at all. You've never even been on it.
I have, but very little. My daughter, she does pictures. She has pictures on Instagram, and I know my business coach does.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. What would happen if you thought about going back to your room right now after this conversation and sharing one of those posts from the intention of service?
That would feel good. That could feel good.
Tell me some more.
I would feel like I'm reaching people that I couldn't, reach in my little community or my little Niagara bubble. I feel like I'd be reaching beyond that and just putting out possibility, I guess.
Yeah. I want to tap into that part of you.
Okay.
That part that's here to serve. That part
that has been serving.
Absolutely, but knows that there is a bigger way that they could be serving. That there are more people that could be reached. That there is more of a contribution to be made. I want to talk to her.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I'd like you to do just a little experiment with me right now. Would you be up for an experiment? Okay, beautiful. I'm going to invite you just to stand up with me. Okay. And I want you to make yourself into a big star.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
As big a shape as you can possibly make. Okay, just close your eyes. And actually, anybody else in the room that wants to do this can do this as well.
That would be lovely.
Okay. And I want you just to tell me how comfortable you feel being this big.
Well, it feels good to stretch.
Yeah. Does it feel familiar, being this shape?
No, but it feels good to stretch.
Yeah. Okay. What would you need to believe is true to allow yourself to be this big? You can put your arms down if they're hurting. Mine were.
I have to believe.
Yeah.
That it's not about me.
Boom!
This is not about me.
Thank you.
Period.
Yeah, I've literally got goosebumps.
This is not about me.
Yes, come here.
Thank you.
It's never about you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Come and take a seat. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to just finish up where we've got to right here?
I remember being in a similar spot when I was working on my doctorate. I was working on my doctorate, and I remember that I couldn't finish. I had written all my research. I had completed. I was in the editing stage of my final doctorate, finished all the courses, all the exams, everything, and I couldn't move. I couldn't do it. And months went by. And then I said to myself, Suzanne, what's the matter? And I just sat there and I just said, who are you to call yourself a doctor? And then all of a sudden I said, well, I am. I've worked this hard. So I put Dr. Suzanne Zook Johnston on a paper and I looked at it and I said, I am and I can. And so I did.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We see you. We see you. I can, I am, I did. Okay? This is not about me. That's one of the powerful, most powerful lessons that you have just given everybody here in this room. Okay? Because when you can start to get out of your own way, magic happens.
And I remember when I was researching and writing, and it would just flow. And I'm like, it just came, and it was not me. Like, this is not, I couldn't even write like this. And I would be like flowing. And then I'd look and I'd read it back, and I'd show my mom, and she said, I didn't know you could write like this. I said, I didn't know. It was not about me.
Yep. Yes.
And when I can remember that and get out of my way, I'm good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
For being so vulnerable and sharing with us all. We really appreciate your vulnerability.